Today we're going to be going over installing a firing pin in an ISSC M22. Tools that you're going to need for this job are a Phillips screwdriver, a punch, and some sort of hammer. Let's get on to the replacement. First thing you're going to want to do is make sure that the gun is empty, which it is. Lock the slide to the rear, hold down the takedown pin, and move the slide. Take your frame, set it to the side, you're done with it for now. Now we're going to move on to disassembling the side. This can be tricky, and one thing that you're going to want to make sure that you have is some type of container to hold the little bitty pins and springs, because they tend to go everywhere and they're extremely small. So let's get on. Start by taking a Phillips screwdriver and removing the screw on the safety decocker, just like so. Nice and easy. Make sure you keep a finger on this side of the decocker and on the other side, because there is a very tiny spring and ball that will come out and you will not be able to find it because it is microscopically small. And you're just going to drop your parts in here as you go. I'll take this side off. If you look right there, that's your little ball and spring assembly. You're just going to drop it in. There's the ball, the spring's still in there. Okay, that one's going to stay. It's still old. Let's go to the other side and unscrew it. Your screw, your decocker, the little ball bearing just fell out. Spring's still in there, so we're just going to leave it for now. So it wants to come out, which it doesn't. Alright. So once you got your decocker taken apart, your springs out, which I did off video, you're going to want to take your decocker safety and switch it to the safe mode, which right now it is in fire, I believe. Yes, it's in fire position. And we're just going to want to take it and flick it in the safe, keeping a finger on the backside to keep it from popping up. And then you're going to push this, which is your firing pin safety, and depress it. You need like 3 hands to do this, and come back and catch your firing pin if it's even there. Mine was broken, so I didn't have to go through this step, but yours may be different. We're going to take it and trying to get this piece out. So let's try it like this. There. So once that's depressed, you can drop your detent piece is already pushed in, so it's not going to want to go back forward. And your firing pin is pushed into the frame and just came unpushed. Try this one more time. Push this in. Come on now. You're going to be fighting the decocker the whole time. There. Now that I got that in, I'm going to try and push this out and turning it. It should just simply fall out. If it's not, of course it wouldn't. We have to turn it. There. Starting to come out. You can see it's starting to work its way out. And there's that. Now we can remove the roll pin. Now removing the roll pin is pretty straightforward. You're going to want to get a punch that fits it the proper size. And just simply tap it out. Don't get too crazy with it because the frame is aluminum. If you hit the frame too much, it will crack. You'll be hunting a new slide frame. We're going to just work on punching it out. It should drift out pretty easy. And what that does is hold your fire control mechanism, which is steel, into the aluminum slide. You know, with the Austrians, they come up with some pretty ingenuitive ways to cut corners and save on machining. Aluminum's a lot more easy to machine than steel. Okay, roll pin is out. So now your fire control group is going to come out next. So what you're going to want to do to get your fire control group out is simply grasp it very carefully and lift a little bit and pull. It should come right out in one assembly. Make sure you keep it over your little parts container in case something does fly out. There are little pieces in here. And what you got going on here is your firing pin. And this is your safety, so it doesn't fire out a battery on accident. We're going to set it to the side. You have your new firing pin, or your broke firing pin. In this case, this is a new firing pin. I'm doing this video just to explain how to replace one of these because I've had to do it. And then you got your extractor if you want to get in there and clean it while you got it down. Your firing pin channel, make sure it's clean of any debris and well oiled. Don't over oil it or it'll contract gunk from shooting it. 22 is very dirty and you don't want a bunch of debris from shooting, so just a light oil is good enough. And down in the channel you have a firing pin spring which comes out very easily and you can easily lose it. You don't want to have to order another part. And the way that this goes together is your firing pin spring drops in. You're going to take your firing pin with the bladed edge that strikes the bullet right here, the anvil edge, facing down. You're going to want to start here and kind of push it down. And you're going to catch that spring channel. You'll feel it when it catches. All right, it's caught. So you want to make sure that it comes out and goes back in like so, because the spring channel is making it go back. And that's the way you want to assemble it. And then you're going to take your piece that it's a safety block so you can't fire it out of battery, and you're going to drop it in like this, a little beveled in, down, spring up, just like so. And now you're ready to put it back in the slide. Now, reassembling your slide is a little bit tricky, so I'm going to show you how to do that now. You're going to want to take your slide, hold it straight up, take your little control group here, insert it in. And the reason you want to hold it up is because you got springs and all kind of other stuff. And you're just going to hold it in and just slowly kind of work it there. That's it. It just went in. You got your firing pin in right now. Just go over and make sure that the pin's not sticking out. You can push on it in the back and make sure that the spring's working, which it is. You got to detent press that little piece right here. The firing pin is working. Okay. So now we can reinsert our roll pin and start the assembly process. So I'm going to put the roll pin back in. Make sure your hole lines up. Put a little bit of oil on the roll pin. Light taps. Remember, this is aluminum. It can break. You will have to replace your slide if it does. Alright, just carry it as far as I care to go without smacking the slide with the hammer. And this does not sit fully flush. It is recessed a little bit on both sides, so just try and get it to where it's not rubbing on your decocker. So that's good enough. Alright, so let's go on to the next part. Next portion is inserting your decocker. And the way you're going to want to do this is you'll see a cutout on your decocker. On this side, you can put this in backwards, but you see where that channel is? Channel is only on one side. You're going to want that to sit inside of the slide like this to where that channel lines up together. So we're going to start on this side, push it in. As you can see, the firing pin is blocking it from going in any further. So you're going to want to do like we did in the disassembly. Push down on your little detent. Push your firing pin in all the way. Push this, remove your punch, and it just clicked in. That's what we want to hear. Get this little bit of hair out of there. Don't want that. Just kind of twist it and play with it. And that's it. Your new firing pin's in. The rest of it's pretty straightforward. Make sure that your channel here is lined up. You don't want to mess that up. You can damage your gun. And now we're going to put the decocker back together and she'll be ready to shoot. Now the trick for the decocker, putting it back together, if you didn't lose your little bitty springs, which I hope you didn't, because they're incredibly small and you will never find them. So take this little bitty spring, drop it in, and put just a dab of oil on it. The oil will help keep the spring in there and keep it from rattling around. Don't take much. So dab of oil. Your little ball bearing, put that back in, little BB. Get it out of here. There. So insert your BB. You're going to take your decocker, insert it. Make sure you hold tension on it, because it can walk out of that channel and you'll tighten down against it and damage it or lose that little ball peen, little ball. You'll be searching forever for it. Screw it down. Excellent. Don't over tighten it. Just get it snug, because we still got to do the other side. Fill in that channel. Okay. So keep your finger held on this side when you're putting your decocker back together. We're going to take our last spring and ball assembly, drop our spring in, little dab of oil, ball bearing, decocker, notched. Check your notches here, line it up, and hold it like that. It's not going anywhere. Drop your screw in, tighten her down. Make sure when you're tightening that it catches the groove, which it didn't. Now it did. You don't want to over tighten it on that thing. And make sure you hold your decocker when you're tightening it, because you can just tighten it without holding it and it'll break the little ear off in there and you'll be hunting a new decocker. It's a pretty common part to break, and parts of this gun are extremely hard to find. That's your decocker. You're going to want to make sure it's functioning properly and blocking your firing pin where you can't hit it. Now we're going to reassemble the gun. Take your slide, draw it back over, hold down your detent, let go. She's back together. Magazine safety. So to make sure that your firing pin is working properly, you're going to want to take and push on it while it's in this position. Hold your trigger down, push it forward, and make sure that your firing pin is moving. And we're good to go. Check your safety. Decocker, it's working. Gun's down. Decocker, works. And that's the ISSC M22. Ready to go.